presentation of TFNN. The Tom O'Brien Show is produced every business day. Tom takes your phone calls toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-873-7618.
Let's go to our man George in Newport Richie. George, what's going on, brother?
Hello, Tom. Good afternoon. How are you?
I'm doing great. Yourself?
Yeah, great. I've been following you for the last few years, listening to your show.
Well, thank you very much. I appreciate it, George.
All the hard work you've done for us over the years.
Well, I really appreciate you calling and saying hi.
My pleasure, Tom.
Okay.
I'll listen to your show.
Thank you, man. Have a great one, a safe one. Appreciate it, man.
Now, Tom O'Brien.
What is going on, everyone? This is Jacob Shoup. You're watching the Tom O'Brien Show. I hope you all have been having an all right day. I'm having an all right day. I hope you guys are having a good one. So yeah, Google didn't pan out whatsoever. Glad I didn't take a position in that. Disney, not great. Uber, certainly not good. Now, I at least had some shares for Uber, and definitely sold out before we got this low, probably about like maybe 5.5%, I think, if I remember correctly. Still, I just want to hold it, and I want capital for more things. Usually I would not sell at kind of a loss like that, but this time I did, just because I think there were some other opportunities coming in. So yeah, I mean, this is some big volume to the downside as well on Uber. We'll talk about that a little bit later. As far as Google is concerned, not sure what it's trading at right now. Yes, so you're off 7.65%. And again, it's that kind of contracting growth with cloud. It's massive amounts of CapEx. And so, I mean, we've seen this with Microsoft. We've seen this with Google. We're probably going to see this with Amazon as well, right? Unless Amazon is somehow pulling people from, Azure and really whatever else is Google is offering, at least as far as cloud is concerned, which is not exactly the same exact thing as what Amazon and Microsoft are doing, but still important and very similar. So, that could be, I guess, a play on Amazon. But again, I mean, my point at this right now is you're going to see these very large companies dumping tons of money in to build out these data centers, AI inference, everything along those lines. And so it'll probably suffer in the near term for that. The only real delta, with Google was at this point increase in cloud. It didn't get that. Kind of the same for Amazon, and it was the same thing for Microsoft, right? I mean, I think Google just released one of their agentic platforms, which is good stuff, and I do believe this will drive revenues and big revenues too into the future. But I think in the interim, that is, this is what's going to happen with some of these stocks. So it'd be interesting to see what goes on with Amazon. We have the SPY right now trading up 0.26% at 603.32. You have the composite essentially sideways right now at 19,652. The Dow Jones Industrial off about 0.59% at 44,818, with the Russell trading at 0.92%. These are the futures, of course, at least in the Russell. You have the DXY off about 0.24% at 107.62. Crude off 2%. Gold contracts still moving up a little bit to the upside. Copper having a nice day, up 2.11%, $4.44. And then silver at 32.79. Let's see what else we got going on. Lucid up 0.85%. JPM up 0.65%. Disney off about 1.59%. Celsius, interesting. I think I want to sit down and do an actual analysis on this because it seemed very promising for a while, and it's really been trading kind of in this bound. And of course, we've broken down below that 24, about that 24, 25 level there, and are now trading even lower, which is unfortunate for this equity and unfortunate for the company as well, because I have just seen it continue to dominate at every place I went to. I mean, so I would assume the sales are good on them, and the companies, the grocery stores, and the convenience marts want these things because they're stocked full of them, and they always go. So I'm not really sure what's going on. Of course, you had like an over purchase from Pepsi, but that was a while ago now. So it might be worth kind of taking a look into this and seeing what's happening. Trading at $5.2 billion right now, PE of 31. Let's see what else we got going on. Steel Dynamics at 1.93, Tesla off 3.42% on bad German numbers. The longer I go looking at this, I mean, this is a big breakdown, right? Especially from this movement up on earnings when we get to 419.14. I am almost arguing that, we get back to this kind of Trump rally level, 297. I want to take a strike almost at like 275 for May. The price for the contracts is not really that bad. Of course, these are puts. And it's a risk. I would probably just buy 10, right? So I think at that, let me see what this is. These are actually trading at right now. So this is what I've just been staring at. Okay, let me see here. And this is, of course, very risky. So you get 100 days out from that. What are these puts at? 730, okay? So you're kind of risking, if you do that, 7,300. But I mean, I believe this could even get back to this breakout level, kind of around 236. It'd pay you, 31,000. Now, of course, that's a big if, and you have a lot of risk surrounding robotaxi announcements coming around this time. That should be in June. So Musk, of course, has the ability to pump this. Other catalysts in that meantime don't really exist, right? I just believe there's going to be more liquidity fears, right? Or fears of illiquidity, I suppose. And I'm willing to take a risk on it because I don't believe the stock should be at this level. And I think Musk is getting himself into some really weird stuff right now that could end up impacting him. Now, of course, it's very speculative on that end. But I mean, having just read access at least and really kind of like physical control over a lot of these, payment systems in the government, I think could end up badly for him in some capacity. My point being is that this is a very risky play that I'm suggesting. This is something that I'm just kind of thinking of. But I don't believe the stock should be at this level. I think the news that keeps coming out with Musk continues to be more polarizing. We wait for Chinese numbers. I don't think there's any recovery from Europe. I believe Tesla will probably get tariffed by China if we continue this kind of war with them. I don't think Canada sales will be good. So, and really with robotaxi, you still have to sell these things, unless they're going to take the L on it and kind of put these things out by themselves. I don't know what the ride sharing app will be for robotaxi. I think there's a lot of ifs with this, or not ifs necessarily, but just kind of, there's not a lot of clarity on how this kind of pans out. And I really don't believe this gap up matters at all. I think this is kind of just, I think it was a Trump rally. I think you get up to here, obviously talking about Optimus, which I also don't believe will pan out in the near term. And by near term, I mean like the next 3, 4, 5 years. So anyways, I don't know. That's something I'm kind of looking at, but pretty bad today for them, off 3.53%. Obviously, this is kind of a change in tone, right? We'll talk a little bit more about this when we get back. Talk about SMCI and NVIDIA as well. NVIDIA is up, I believe it was 5% earlier, 4.54 right now. Folks, stay right there, we'll be right back.
If you spend any time online researching trading techniques on how to begin your trading journey, you've no doubt come across many folks who push Forex trading as a way to make big money quickly. Unfortunately, there are equally as many stories of these so-called Forex professionals just looking to make a quick buck off aspiring traders without actually teaching the ins and outs of the Forex market. This is what sets Teddy Keckstack's The Tiger Forex Report off the riffraff. Every Monday, former Chicago Mercantile Exchange member and author Teddy Keckstack releases his Tiger Forex Report newsletter, where he dives into the complex world of Forex and takes time to actually teach you his methods that have made him so successful in the fast-paced and rewarding world of Forex trading. Furthermore, all subscribers receive access to archived live streams of Teddy's, where he provides university-level education to help you in Forex trading. All first-time subscribers receive a 30-day money-back guarantee. So what are you waiting for? Forex awaits.
The reality is that navigating financial markets can be risky. Markets can be chaotic and difficult to understand. Having the latest market advice can help you turn this chaos into a key for creating winning trades. At TFNN, we understand that it can be hard to find reliable market news. That's why each of our market experts offers their very own market newsletter, a must-have tool for every trader out there striving to find an edge in today's markets. TFNN newsletters cover every aspect of the markets so you can analyze the market before you trade. Try any of our great newsletters risk-free with our 30-day money-back guarantee. Just visit the Newsletters tab on the front page of TFNN.com. TFNN, educating investors.
Are you ready to take charge of your financial future? TFNN is your gateway to the world of trading and investing. Whether you're starting out or scaling up, TFNN empowers traders and investors of all skill levels with top-notch investing systems, strategies, and techniques. It's time to protect and grow your money with insight you can trust. Join us live Monday through Friday during market hours for exclusive content that moves with the markets. At TFNN, we bring the trading floor to you. Our seasoned hosts are here to answer your calls and questions live on the air. Check out the Tiger's Den for just $1 and follow us on YouTube and become part of our vibrant community. And remember, at TFNN, we're so confident in the value we provide that we offer a 30-day money-back guarantee on all new premium newsletter subscriptions and services. You have absolutely nothing to risk, so why wait? Tune in live to Tiger TV and transform your trading journey, because when you know better, you invest better. Join us and experience the difference today. TFNN, educating investors.
Welcome back, everybody. This is Jacob Shoup. You're watching the Tom O'Brien Show. Before we go on, I want to let you all know that this month, yet again, you're going to have Larry Live Fridays. This is Live Trading Fridays with Larry Pesavento. I really enjoy basically adminning this entire thing. It's about 3 hours. We have 9 a.m. to noon Eastern time. This is the second and fourth Friday of every month. So this month is going to be the 14th. Happy Valentine's Day, Tigers. And then the 28th as well. This market has been really choppy since the beginning of the year, and so it's been nice kind of being able to sit there and watch Larry actually do the trading, kind of see what he's looking at. Of course, he's been trading for decades, so it's really invaluable. I really recommend checking this out. Again, this is the 14th and the 28th. So when you buy a subscription for this, you get access to both those days. That is in, of course, the trading room as well. Again, very simple setup. You don't have to pay for it if you buy the subscription to live trading. It's a step-by-step process, very straightforward. Download Discord. I would just recommend doing this anyways. I mean, we're having a great conversation right now in the Discord. I mean, even over the breaks, it's just interesting to see what people are saying. Of course, create an account, and then you email sales@TFNN, and we'll be right there. So anyways, let's move on. Let's take a look at NVIDIA. Nice kind of recovery today to some extent. I wouldn't really call this a full recovery, but at least we get some movement to the upside again. This is on somewhat low volume, up 4.75%. I think you have two ways looking at this. I think number one, AMD just lived up to its name, not its corporate name, but it's how it's colloquially known, which is Advanced Money Destroyer. You're off 6.78%. You know, it was weird to me seeing people take a position in AMD. I mean, they've dropped the ball on AI consistently. They dropped the ball in the training phase. I would argue they were probably going to drop the ball additionally in the inference phase as well. NVIDIA just has way more plug-in, way more capital to work in. I think that the argument that AMD will dominate in the inference phase might be a little bit of like hopium, in the sense that, of course, NVIDIA realizes that the next stage is going to be inference. I mean, they're the ones who've been talking about this consistently. Every time AMD has come out and said something along the lines like, oh, you know, we're going to be really, better at that point, NVIDIA has every time responded saying it's just not true, that our stuff is just better. Now, you know, can you make an argument that maybe this stuff is cheaper? I don't even think it really is, because I think their angle is that their yield is better, but it's still more expensive kind of overall. So I don't buy that either. They had soft AI data center business. I mean, they're telling you this is just telling you what the market thinks. I mean, why take the risk on AMD where you're already familiar with CUDA, with NVIDIA? I don't see it, And I mean, that's another issue Intel's not even really a player in this. But that environment of CUDA is very important, right? And everyone's familiar with it. And so why do we need to switch off of that and try to learn something new? I think that's a massive barrier for AMD, and I don't see where this goes. Very lackluster chart. It's tough. I mean, nearly on every earnings report, even if you go up the next day, right? You just come back down. You have a massive gap down here, and it's just been eroding since then. We're traded as low as 106.50. Did recover, of course, to 111.71, off about 6.51%. Looking at some of the numbers here, the data center GPU sales in Q4 were 1.75 billion. That's below estimates for 2 billion. AMD predicted flat AI GPU sales in the first half of 2025, followed by growth in the second half of the year. AMD plans to release its next generation data center GPU, the MI350 series, in mid-2025. Yeah. You get a bunch of analysts just target cutting it. Again, not that necessarily matters, but I think the sentiment is pretty negative on AMD right now. And again, I'm not really sure, what the argument is to buy like an MI350 versus Blackwell. So on that point, you can kind of see NVIDIA is a little bit dominant in that phase. I think that's kind of what a lot of people are looking at, because if they're not buying AMDs, it's because, of course, they're buying NVIDIA. And then additionally, and this is the freaky thing for the next week, and really this month as well, is our old kind of sketchy friend, Supermicro. My charts are being a little slow here. Give me one moment. So as far as I'm concerned, and I think there was some discrepancy, at least in the den on this, I have on Thinkorswim, and this is linking a Barron's article, that they are doing a business update on February 11th. Okay, so that's going to be next Tuesday. I think there was some information that might have been February 10th. I can't find that. I can only find from Barron's that it's February 11th. But that's besides the point. They're going to be discussing kind of what's going on. I'm sure there's going to be some kind of earnings-like thing. Of course, they don't have a 10Q or a 10K out that was due in August. I believe they had an extension. It's going to be on February 25th is when they absolutely have to publish one. And so we'll see what happens. Very risky. Now, if they have good news, of course, on February 11th, I believe this equity will skyrocket. This is again like a massive risk, right? And if they say, hey, we for sure are going to be able to put out some audited 10Q or 10K on February 25th, I mean, this stock can easily fill that gap from around the beginning of November, end of October right there. We're looking at least on the close for that day of roughly about $48, roughly $49, excuse me. And so that's big movement to the upside. You're up 9.36%, a lot of dark pool buying into it. And then I've seen on Edgar, on some of the Form 4s, you have some insiders buying quite a bit. So you had one from January 31st, which Kenneth Choing received 48,370. How about that? Conversion price of 27.80. So I mean, again, not that that necessarily means anything, right? But you kind of piece some stuff together to make an argument for yourself. It's interesting. This is also one I was thinking of taking a risk on with some calls. Was looking at strikes of 37.50, relatively cheap compared to anything else, especially a month out. This would have been for February 28th. That's something I'm looking at as well. Now, here's my argument. This is a tough one for me, right? Because I don't like companies that do this kind of weird stuff with their earnings. I don't like companies that aren't very transparent. Even if there's the potential for growth, right? they come out today and said that they are ready to ship their entire rack with NVIDIA Blackwell. Okay, and this is massive. There's a huge demand, or at least anticipated demand, for Blackwell. The rigs that these chips are going to be on or within are SMCI, and that's about it, right? So, just from that metric, you're moving up 9.26% today. Stay right there. We'll be right back. I'll kind of finish my thought on SMCI, and then we'll move on because it's a weird little equity. It's a weird time for this stock as well. But folks, stay right there. We'll be right back.
Many trading newsletters attempt to focus on a narrow set of equities or commodities. While this works for some, it oftentimes misses many opportunities that possess huge gain potential. But how is an independent trader supposed to scan the entire market looking for these hidden opportunities? One simple answer: the opening call newsletter. Basil Chapman, developer of the Chapman Wave trading methodology, has been trading the markets for longer than most trading influencers have been alive. And over that time, he has honed his methodology in order to accurately call movements in a wide range of equities, from semiconductors to uranium to key indices and so much more. Basil is old school, taking the time to educate the trader while also giving his insights into key indices, selective stocks, and more. Opening call subscribers also receive access to dozens of educational live streams that can be accessed at any time for your edification. All first-time subscribers receive a 30-day money-back guarantee. So ignore the pop trading influencers and start learning time-tested technical analysis.
Steve Rhodes started his trading career as a student almost 20 years ago, and the student has now become the master. Steve won the prestigious Timer of the Year award in 2018 and barely missed that mark again in 2019, finishing at number 2 for the year. An amazing accomplishment. Steve Rhodes is committed to sharing his techniques and knowledge with anyone who wants to learn, and he shares his vast amount of trading knowledge every day in his Mastering Probability newsletter. Steve's award-winning newsletter, Mastering Probability, is delivered every trading day with updates throughout the afternoon. Sign up for Steve's market newsletter, Mastering Probability, and you'll receive access to 7 of Steve's educational webinars absolutely free. At TFNN, all our newsletters come with a 30-day money-back guarantee, so you have absolutely nothing to worry about. Visit TFNN.com and try Mastering Probability 30 days risk-free today. TFNN, educating investors.
This year has already been a wild ride for the market. We started off heavily in the red, reversed back to all-time highs, and we now have a trade war looming. Trying to play this chop as an individual trader leads to death by 1,000 cuts. Where does this market go next? Should I add to this position or cut my losses? Where is the next opportunity? Tariffs, trade wars, analysis paralysis. Don't become a victim of this intense market. Instead, join Larry Pesavento for the second and fourth Friday of every month for 3 hours of live trading. Larry has been through many markets just like this one, and the insight he provides is invaluable. The events for this month are February 14th and 21st, 9 a.m. to noon Eastern Time. Get in here and let's start trading. TFNN, educating investors.
This portion of the Tom O'Brien Show is brought to you by Direxion's daily leveraged and inverse ETFs. Whether you're a bull or a bear, you choose the direction. Visit Direxion.com. Investing in the funds involves significant risk and should only be utilized by investors who understand the impact of leverage and actively monitor their portfolio. They are not designed to track the underlying index or security for more than a day. Before investing, carefully consider a fund's investment objective, risk, charges, and expenses contained in the prospectus available at Direxion.com. Read carefully. Distributor Foreside Fund Services, LLC.
Welcome back, everybody. This is Jacob Shoover watching the Tom O'Brien Show. The SPY up about 0.33% at 603.79. Got the composite up about 0.08% at 19,668. Starting to turn over a little bit. The Dow Jones Industrial up about 0.68% at 44,859. Yeah, I don't know what's getting into me with even considering trades like this, because I'm usually not gonna ever approach something that's that risky. I don't know if I'm not getting enough sleep or what it might be. But yeah, anyways, SMCI built out the racks with Blackwell. They're the ones doing it, you know. I mean, this is kind of the way you're going to get Blackwell. They have the proprietary cooling systems, and really, I do think what we've learned from earnings with Google, Meta, and Microsoft is beyond those companies, you know, and they will, I'm sure, profit from this, you know, a year from now or something like that. But it's data centers. It's all data centers, and so anything that's going into that is going to profit pretty handsomely. I was even looking at TSSI. I hold this equity, trading up 2.02% today at $15.41. Now, pretty freaky PE, of course, but the market cap is relatively low. I would like to see if they can kind of get up their earnings, essentially. And that would be, I think, very good for this stock. I believe they're HQ'd in Texas as well, which is where you're getting a lot of just reestablishment of these very large hyperscalers. It's where the data centers will probably be built. But this, again, is a company that can really, really profit from the massive CapEx in data centers. So yeah, going back to SMCI, potential that February 11th is good. That's right, Dan. You guys got to get into the den. It's great. Yes, so anyways, SMCI, you got conversation on February 11th. You have the must report earnings or some filing by February 25th. So if you want to play it, you can play it. You get some insider buying going on, get some dark pool buying going on in the equity. So it's interesting. Kind of interesting, you know? All right, let's move on a little bit. Kind of what I want to talk about. I guess let's look at Palantir just quickly because I'm really surprised at how well this has held up. You are off 2.87% today, but you're barely even testing that gap. Trading at $100.85. I mean, with the PE that strong, it's insane, and I'm having a hard time understanding what I want to do with this stock. Now, I sold this thing at $36, which is unfortunate. I made a really good profit, but I mean, you could think that. You know, I would have made obviously even better profit. I did not anticipate it moving this high. I think the PE is extraordinarily high on this thing. I think the expansion, however, to non-military realms is phenomenal for Palantir. With a market cap of $219 billion, I mean, the market is comfortable with even higher market caps, maybe not as high of PEs, and so that'll be kind of difficult to see. But I mean, this is holding extraordinarily well at that 100 level. I think it's tried to break it a little bit today, and it just basically bounced off that right back to the 100 level. You're getting a lot more attention being paid to it. You have Alex Karp going on a lot of different kind of interviews on shows. He's been speaking publicly with a lot of officials, or at least individuals who are close to the government officials. And keep in mind, I mean, the Maven system is completely, dependent on Palantir, right? In that same kind of realm, we take a look at Red Cat. This is a sympathy play for Palantir, trading off 2.98% today at 976, a market cap of 782 million. Recently, they had just gotten 518,000 for their Edge 130 drones. Again, the whole idea that they're leveraging Palantir's AI in order to make it so their drones do not have to operate on GPS, which is the major form of, or the major way that drones get jammed. So that's something to keep in mind as well. These guys are really pre-earnings. They shot themselves in the foot last quarter because they ceased all sales of the Teal drone. Made it into, I believe, the Black Widow is what they're calling it now. But they had the tranche for short-range reconnaissance drones with the U.S. Army. So we'll see what happens. I'm interested in this stock because I believe drones are going to become very, very important at the border. I have a feeling the cartel might ramp up some aggression in some areas. They, of course, have drones as well. And so we'll see what happens with that. But, of course, a build-out of these kind of smaller platform fleets for the military is 1,000% where this whole world is going. There's also some conversation. This is a really freaky little penny stock, but I know some of you guys really enjoy these small caps and penny stocks. But this is Ocean Power Technology, trading up 21.3% today at 90 cents. Again, For what reason? Not really sure, and I would definitely not buy it at this point either. Their whole idea is that they are doing, and again, it's kind of a related play, right? Like leveraging some kind of Palantir technology. They do autonomous underwater crafts, which surprisingly is extremely prominent today in, I say military application, that's true, but even just defense applications, right? So I mean, at any moment, at any time on this globe, and deep under the water, there are tons of autonomous crafts, essentially, that circle around, gather intelligence, whether that's acoustics or detect things in the water. So that's kind of interesting to look at. Again, this is a very risky one. So if you're into penny stocks and you're curious about that kind of stuff, of course, check out OPT. Speaking of things that were formerly penny stocks and they no longer are, taking a look at Big Bear Holdings, up 43.28%. You traded to a high of $7.54. They secured, I believe, an IDIQ contract, and then today they just pocketed a DoD contract. This is for threat detection systems within the DoD. Again, not sure what this number is, and that is there's two major things that make me a little bit cautious with Big Bear, is that you had the insider selling, right? And someone had told me they had an explanation for it, but I would still like to hear that so we can kind of talk about it on the show for sure. But then additionally, they don't always put out the contract numbers, and when it gets found out what they are, they can oftentimes be somewhat small, right? Regardless, you're trading at 1.75 billion, and I love the idea of edge AI analytics. So I want something like this to work. I maybe need to be convinced more. I don't know. But one of the things I've also learned is that you can't fight momentum. I mean, 41.65% of the upside is massive. Just cracking $7, below $7 right now at $6.96. No doubt there will be a pullback here. I mean, you're already kind of seeing it through the day. But I mean, if they can actually materialize some of this stuff and make some decent money from these contracts, I believe this is a prototype going into actual application. They won the award for that prototype. That was some time ago. So it's nice to see that actually having some follow through with it. So it's an equity I'm watching. I'm still not entirely sold on it at all, but it'd be cool to see it move. Because I mean, at 1.7 billion, if their stuff works and what they're being kind of contracted for, the DoD, I mean, there's way more money. I believe this has a Palantir leverage as well. So folks, stay right there. We'll be right back.
If you're looking for potential trading setups in the stock market, then Rocket Equities and Options Report is a newsletter you should try. Tommy O'Brien delivers options and equity trades when the markets present them, using a combination of fundamentals and technicals. Sign up for Rocket Equities and Options Report today with a 30-day money-back guarantee, so you have nothing to risk. For all the details and to start your subscription today, visit the front page of TFNN.com. TFNN, educating investors. For traders who crave risk, Direxion's daily leveraged and inverse ETFs provide opportunities to magnify short-term perspectives with up to 3 times a daily leverage, utilize bull and bear funds from both sides of the trade, and trade through rapidly changing markets. These are highly leveraged ETFs with daily resetting designed for short-term trading, not long-term investing. Whether you're a bull or a bear, you choose the Direxion. For up-to-date pricing and performance, go to Direxion.com. Investing in the funds involves significant risk and should only be utilized by investors who understand the impact of leverage and actively monitor their portfolio. They are not designed to track the underlying index or security for more than a day. Before investing, carefully consider a fund's investment objective, risk, charges, and expenses contained in the prospectus available at Direxion.com. Read carefully. Distributor Foresight Fund Services, LLC.
The reality is that navigating financial markets can be risky. Markets can be chaotic and difficult to understand. Having the latest market advice can help you turn this chaos into a key for creating winning trades. At TFNN, we understand that it can be hard to find reliable market news. That's why each of our market experts offers their very own market newsletter, a must-have tool for every trader out there striving to find an edge in today's markets. TFNN newsletters cover every aspect of the markets so you can analyze the market before you trade. Try any of our great newsletters risk-free with our 30-day money-back guarantee. Just visit the Newsletters tab on the front page of TFNN.com. TFNN, educating investors.
TFNN has launched the Tiger's Den. Hosted at Discord, TFNN has been educating traders for more than 20 years with live programming hosted by a variety of professional traders during market hours. The Tiger's Den, available to all tigers and tigresses for just $1 for the year. There's no catch or added costs when you join our community of traders. Sign up today and become a part of this educational community of traders. Just visit the front page of TFNN.com.
This program is brought to you by Vista Gold, traded on the NYSE American and TSX under the symbol VGZ.
Tom O'Brien.
Welcome back, everybody. This is Jacob Shoup. You're watching the Tom O'Brien Show. Taking a look right now at MicroStrategy. These guys have earnings, and an earnings call at 5 as well. You're off 3.29%, and I'm not a fan of this company, especially the way that it is manifested now. I think in the future, if they lend against their Bitcoin, it's massive. But as it stands, and I've heard some mental gymnastics kind of against this, and I don't mean it that way, I suppose. But my issue with it is they constantly dilute you by buying Bitcoin, right? So until Bitcoin appreciates it's a massive amount, really at the level they bought it at and where you bought it at relative, right? You just constantly get diluted. And maybe at some point that, is not the case, because at the end of the day, you end up making more money if Bitcoin appreciates in a major way, and that's fine if you want to look at it in that light. I don't look at it in that light. They are rebranding to strategy. And that's always a weird thing when you have earnings and you have a company be like, hey, you know what? We have a big rebranding strategy. I'm like, yeah, maybe earnings aren't going to be that great then. But I believe with the new ruling with accounting, that 2023-08, they have to show mark-to-market gain on Bitcoin. So maybe they might show a decent gain, because I think their average cost basis is something around $68,000 per Bitcoin. Let me see here. 62,473, and that is from Bitbo. Nice. And they hold 40. That is actually insane. At least from Bitcoin treasuries, they have 471,000 Bitcoin. And that's reported. So we'll see what happens. It's going to be interesting, and this is, it's not something I would take a position on for earnings. But what it will do is be very insightful into how companies like this will do earnings in the future and what those will look like. I think you're going to see more Bitcoin holding companies come about. You've already seen a lot of companies kind of prop up their earnings, Tesla, and get a massive bump in their market cap because they decided to acquire Bitcoin and hold it. Now, I think you can get into a really weird situation with the new mark-to-market rule, where if Bitcoin plummets during earnings, you can get some ugly stuff. So I don't know if we just start ignoring Bitcoin at some certain point on those earning reports. It's a little bit hard to do that with something like MicroStrategy, where their whole thing is now they're just going to be a Bitcoin treasury. But as far as other companies are concerned that do something completely different for operations, it'll be kind of interesting to see how analysts look at that. MicroStrategy will be cool, I think, if they can start lending against the Bitcoin. I think that's huge in a way. They almost kind of create a floor in some capacity for it. Let's say there really will be some kind of crypto reserve and Bitcoin is a part of that. I believe MicroStrategy could be pretty pivotal, or at least central, in making that a reality. And so it remains to be seen what kind of happens. You had the guys speak yesterday about potential for a crypto strategic reserve. I'm sure they're kind of looking into that to some extent, but they've not mentioned Bitcoin whatsoever. And the media made a very good point of blasting that on headlines everywhere. So not really sure how consequential that is in the long term, but that is what occurred yesterday with that meeting. So you have MicroStrategy trading off 3.84% at 334, and you've had a lot of weird moves in crypto recently, right? I think what this showed us, and really the whole fear with tariffs on Monday, was that this is 100% for sure a risk asset, and I believe that it kind of confirms the way that I look at it, which is it is supplementary to the rest of the market, right? And so when there's excess liquidity or there's too much money and the market's already saturated, where do you put it? And you put it in things like crypto, right? I think that's what the market kind of told us. It's definitely what the Koreans told us with Ethereum. And so anyways, kind of interesting. You have a massive bounce back. I believe Bitcoin traded to a low of about 91,255, which is quite low. It recovered back up, trading around 97,000 right now. And then Ethereum dumped even more. Yeah, so we're at 97,044 in Bitcoin. Oh man, how about that? That really is something. It went down to 92,914 at its low. And Ethereum was weird, and I wonder how this is going to work. And I believe there's probably some kind of protection for individuals like this, but you had Eric Trump, when Ethereum just rockets off, shows that he buys a ton of Ethereum, and he says, hey, do yourself a favor. I mean, I'm paraphrasing this part, but it's like, do yourself a favor, buy Ethereum, right? It shoots up 25% on that. I mean, this is clearly just... I mean, I don't know, can you argue that's manipulation? I mean, it clearly is, but I mean, does it matter if it's, legal manipulation or not? It doesn't seem like everyone's looking into it whatsoever. So, some weird stuff in the world of crypto right now. Ethereum has continued to kind of like underimpress me in a major way. Solana has really taken off as the kind of platform to spin more of these kind of meme coins that are going everywhere. So the Solana environment seems to be the most popular right now for anything, new. Used to be Ethereum on that. So we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. And again, South Korea dumped a ton of Ethereum. The market, at least itself, did. So anyways, long story short, risk asset, not anything of store value or inflation. It is just when the rest of the market is too saturated and market caps are too high or whatever it might be, everything goes in to cryptocurrency. Is kind of how we see it. So yeah, watch out for MicroStrategy and 5 p.m. today for that earning call. Let's see what else we got going on. Oh, how about this? Is this weird or what? So I was driving last night to Tampa, and I saw that Trump spoke with Bibi Netanyahu, and it seemed like Netanyahu didn't anticipate this at all, but Trump essentially saying that, and now these are my words, but we're gonna annex Gaza. We're gonna move the Palestinians out, put them somewhere else, and that people will definitely help us, is how he says it. And then we rebuild Gaza, and the Palestinians will not want to come back. Netanyahu looked completely taken aback on something like that. And everyone disliked it. I mean, enemies disliked it, allies disliked it. Netanyahu voiced support for it, but I don't know if that's the only thing he kind of could do in that moment. I can't imagine that would be something that anyone wants. So again, we have some very interesting stuff going on politically, and I think this instability can make this market a lot more sensitive in a big way. Going back with Bitcoin, you have Hong Kong legislators are looking for Bitcoin strategic reserve research, seeks China's support for pilot applications of these things. And China's interesting because I'm pretty sure you cannot use their money to buy Bitcoin. You can own Bitcoin, you can have it, but I don't believe you can transfer it for goods, and you can't buy it in their currency. So we'll see what kind of happens along those lines. I don't know. This is a really large kind of pivot, I think, in how this globe operates. How about that? Novo Nordisk does well. Yeah. Anyways, let's take a look at what we got going on here. The SPY trading up 0.25% at 603.30. Composite off about 0.07% at 19,638. Dow Jones Industrial trading up 0.66% at 44,851 with those Russell futures up nearly a full percent at 2,320. Folks, stay right there. We'll be right back for a short segment to wrap up the show.
Many trading newsletters attempt to focus on a narrow set of equities or commodities. While this works for some, it oftentimes misses many opportunities that possess huge gain potential. But how is an independent trader supposed to scan the entire market looking for these hidden opportunities? One simple answer: the opening call newsletter. Basil Chapman, developer of the Chapman Wave trading methodology, has been trading the markets for longer than most trading influencers have been alive. And over that time, he has honed his methodology in order to accurately call movements in a wide range of equities, from semiconductors to uranium to key indices and so much more. Basil is old school, taking the time to educate the trader while also giving his insights into key indices, selective stocks, and more. Opening call subscribers also receive access to dozens of educational live streams that can be accessed at any time for your edification. All first-time subscribers receive a 30-day money-back guarantee. So ignore the pop trading influencers and start learning time-tested technical analysis.
In the world of trading, only a few names stand out like Larry Pesavento, a pros pro with over 50 years of experience. Larry has seen it all. A former Chicago Mercantile Exchange member, Larry has authored 10 books and trained over 1,000 traders with his unmatched expertise. Introducing Fibonacci 24/7, Larry Pesavento's daily trading service that turns the complexity of markets into opportunities. Published every Sunday, receive a comprehensive report packed with detailed commentary, charts, and videos that illuminate the patterns shaping the markets, with updates throughout the week exclusively for subscribers. Whether through charts or videos, Larry's analysis is your roadmap to navigating the markets. You can sign up now at TFNN.com for just $97. And with all TFNN newsletters backed by a 30-day money-back guarantee, you have nothing to risk. For all the details, visit TFNN.com. You'll find Fibonacci 24/7 right under the newsletters tab.
The reality is that navigating financial markets can be risky. Markets can be chaotic and difficult to understand. Having the latest market advice can help you turn this chaos into a key for creating winning trades. At TFNN, we understand that it can be hard to find reliable market news. That's why each of our market experts offers their very own market newsletter. A must-have tool for every trader out there striving to find an edge in today's markets. TFNN newsletters cover every aspect of the markets so you can analyze the market before you trade. Try any of our great newsletters risk-free with our 30-day money-back guarantee. Just visit the newsletters tab on the front page of TFNN.com. TFNN. Educating investors.
Don't forget, you can listen to TFNN live on your mobile device 24 hours per day. Go to TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV. That's TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV.
Watch the Tom O'Brien Show. We have a short segment here, about 3:45 right now. Someone asked in the den about Ripple. My big thing with Ripple is that I have seen so many clearly fake advertisements for buying it. They'll use the Ripple CEO, they Photoshop, and it's marginally well done. I mean, I think this would probably fool a lot of people, but it is a Photoshop microphone in front of his face. The way they begin these advertisements, and I think this is probably going to start being applied to a lot of different things, or this method is going to be employed for a lot of different scams, is they will have someone talking, like just like myself. I'll be saying like, hey, you know what, I really like cryptocurrency, this is very interesting, and then it'll cut away from my face and show something else, and then an AI voice will take over. And this is what they've been doing with the CEO of Ripple. And I noticed this, I was getting ads constantly for it on YouTube. And so that makes me suspect at least of the community around it and what the intent is of people who hold Ripple. I think there's a lot of kind of fluff about it being used by banks, I don't think that's true at all. If they like the way that the blockchain works for Ripple, they will just fork it. For XRP, they'll just fork it and use that. You had this joint research, JP Morgan and Oliver Wyman. It's called Unlocking $120 Billion Value in Cross-Border Payments. We spoke about this before. If you want this PDF, just DM me on the Den. You can email me at jacob@tfnn.com and I'll send it to you. But it's kind of looking at potential digital currencies that could be used by central banks in order to facilitate cross-border payments, right? So the big ones that you're looking at are Finality, which is interesting to me. I almost kind of like Finality a little bit more. What that would be is you kind of enter into an arena, you get a token, and you leave, and you get your money at the end of it. They say that Ripple is great for instant settlement, but it's poor transparency, it's not low cost, and of course we know it's very volatile. Now they have a stable coin for it, but I just think this is a lot for the purposes. Folks, thank you so much for joining me. We'll see you tomorrow morning, 9 a.m. with Tommy O'Brien. Take care.